Okay, this is an attempt at my first video with speaking and explanations. This is the most recent garden that I've planted with a whole lot of astilbe. Those are the purple feathery flowers. And it's supposed to be a shade garden, but it's getting more sun than it should right now. That's the pathway to the back garden. And let's see what's interesting here. These are beautiful white flowers that I grew from seed last year, and they just came back all over the garden, which I love, and they're great in flower arrangements. These are called Strantia, and they have amazing geometry. So let's move now into the main bed, which is this one over here, which has a blast of color right now. I will go through in more detail. This is a purple clematis in full glory. Below is an orange geum. And this blue flower is one that I also grew from seed last year, and it came back. Those are all called Stachys, the pink, light pink and the dark pink. And here is a white version of the blue flower I just showed, which I grew from seed last year. It's a pincushion. And here we have the fig that goes in and out of the garage every year. Not sure I'll be doing that anymore because it's not producing fruit. And on this side we have a glorious hydrangea. This hydrangea is absolutely covered in bees during the day, literally hundreds of them. And here we go into the vegetable garden. So there are tomatoes and basil and more tomatoes, many tomatoes, more basil, and a flower arrangement that has these beautiful African daisies in it. Really beautiful colors in the middle. And then we have our first dahlia starting to open, more tomatoes. And this is a view of the garden. From this vantage point. Lots of hostas in the shade, lots of lilies about to bloom. Let's find something a little more interesting. Okay, so we'll go back down the path. These are my little ostriches. The plants haven't grown well enough to look like ostrich plumage yet, but they will. And I will continue along the riot of color. Lots of blues. There are some purple bubbles called allium. And I think all the roses are basically done, unfortunately. This is another plant that I'm so proud of because I grew it from seed. And it's so big and silky. And these are the gorgeous roses that are now past their prime. The bees still love them. And then as you go behind here, it becomes a little more private. Oh, let's show you the white clematis here that is really pretty. Also on its way out, but it was just covered in blooms. I think they got knocked off by the rain last night. And then here are some purple ones. This is called clematis. And it shares an arbor with the white one. And in this area, oh, that's quite a nice view if you look at the colors and the textures. And over here we have dahlias about to bloom. These seem to be red. All the ones in bloom right now seem to be red. And then over here, this is a columnar apple tree. So it just grows as one tall pole with apples that will be growing on each side of it. So it's easier to harvest. Here is a pathway to the back garden. And we will go back out this way. This is a red Japanese maple. And over here there are gorgeous hydrangeas in bloom. It's been very hot, so they're just flopping. And this is another Japanese maple, one of my favorites. I can't get the whole thing in the picture. The sun is right there. And then over here we have a dogwood, a variegated dogwood, and some bee balm, which is such a beautiful color. It's called Purple Rooster. Very appropriate name. And over here we have some blue, it's called echinops, and these are beautiful blue spheres that then open with little flowers on them. You can see the bees are very happy. And here there are more roses that are kind of past. They were really glorious last week. And let's see if I can get a picture. You can't really see it. I'll have to do that planter some other way when the sun is not setting over there. This is the crazy sunbed. Nothing really to point out here. There's a bird bath and then a side path down the garden. What is very exciting is my dwarf fruit trees. So if you come over here, this is a nectarine. And this one is a peach. And if I lift up these leaves, look what's hiding there. I have 5 peaches on that miniature tree. And there's a pretty rose that just started blooming. It's a very pretty apricot. And on top of this arbor is another beautiful clematis. This one is called Roguchi. It's beautiful bluebells. And then it produces these fuzzy pods when the flowers fade. So now let's look at the vegetables. This is my salad bar box. It has arugula and all sorts of lettuce, celery. And I just come in there and pick vegetables for my salad at lunchtime. And then over here we have a pineapple lily, which is about to bloom, with many other interesting plants in here. This is a petunia, which is really beautiful. And there is more of this African daisy, picking up the purple theme with those gorgeous colors in the middle. Moving to the patio, this is a California poppy. Just love the color. And and a pom-pom crabapple tree. And then we move over to the vegetables. So here we have carrots. These are all carrots here. And miniature tomatoes, which are just so cute. They get a maximum, the plant gets a maximum of about 9 inches tall. And basil, and more tomatoes, and some cucumbers that are going to travel up that archway to meet the peas, which are on the other side of the archway. Check out these peas. There are so many peas. Just everywhere on this archway there are so many peas. Look up here. I could probably pick a dozen just from the square foot here. So many peas. So now we move to our planters. As I said, the theme is clearly red dahlias. This is actually a dahlia that is not the one I ordered, but is red. And we're moving to the strawberry patch, where there are so many ripe strawberries, growing strawberries, and strawberries about to be ripe. Check them out. Many strawberries. These are allium, about to bloom. This is one of my favorite planters. It's just a mix of all sorts of succulents. And then this is probably the beauty of this year, and I learned an interesting lesson. I planted this planter from plants that were from a store and large, and it looks so much better than this planter, which I grew them all from seed, and clearly they're many weeks behind. As we move along over here, this red bee balm is specifically planted because it attracts the hummingbirds to the bird feeders, and we sit inside and watch the hummingbirds all the time. Over here we have another planter. This one has a canna, and behind it are the daisies, and then what's left of all the seedlings I grew. And this is the shade garden, although obviously it doesn't look very shady right now. And another planter that's also doing quite well. And I think that's it for the backyard maybe. This is our huge yield of blueberries. We can't eat them quick enough, and the birds are really enjoying them. There are 2 bushes here and so many blueberries. Excuse the noise that is the air conditioner, which is right behind here. And here we have sweet peas growing. They've just gone wild all over the garden. What else is there to see? More sweet peas. And I think that's it. Here's another shade area, which leads up to a beautiful weeping willow. And I think we will end the tour right there.